Congratulations, you finally made it to 4 p.m. You know what that means. Happy hour. It's time to kick back, relax, and dive into the world of sports with the Young and Norvelle Show. Whether you're catching up on the latest scores, analyzing the big plays, or gearing up for tonight's games, we've got you covered. So grab a cold one, settle in, and let's talk sports. Here they are, Patrick Young and Terry Norvelle.
Welcome in, everybody. It is a Friday here on the Young and Norvelle Show, and you may be asking a question when you see me right here, or multiple questions. That guy does not look like Terry. Yes, you are correct. This is the Young and Norvelle Show. Terry's out. Hopefully, he's going to rest up and get himself back going. His rambunctious self will be back on the show and ask me to host the show and cover. So we're going to have hopefully a few guests on in the next 2 hours that you have with us. And you may be also asking what is going on behind me. I want to thank Freddie Weeby and the folks here at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, allowing us the opportunity to host the show. I am so happy to be here right now. Actually, Brian Donovan, yes, you heard the last name. Brian Donovan has worked here the last 4 years. And he's actually, you might see me bringing a glass up to my mouth here and there. This is a happy hour show. So old-fashioned may or may not be getting, dilly-dallied in, as we should say. Got a good show today. I think, obviously, happy that it's Friday. Happy that we get a chance to talk about the Jags a little bit. What I want to be a little bit different about this show is, we're in this space right now where, training camp, we're just talking about all the things that aren't happening or haven't happened yet, or our opinions on this and that. And it's a little difficult to stay engaged at times, unless you're, another level of diehard and your organization has had some success in recent years. And obviously it's probably a different feel being out there at training camp. Quite interesting on listening to one of the shows this morning. Ian Rappaport was out here. Obviously that's the Travis Hunter effect of the two-way player, and Travis Hunter has that belief, as we all think. I think that we will see a two-way player be very impactful on both sides of the ball. Not immediately, but there will be progression. The Jaguars. I've been listening to this awesome book, Failing Forward, as they're trying to figure this out. It's much better, and it might be hard for fans because sometimes we want to see things happen faster than they need to, so a player can develop. I want to, if there's early failures or disappointments or fallbacks, things that make you kind of question things a little bit. It's much better to fail early, often, but it has to be forward. No one here expects the Jaguars to be perfect in implementing something that hasn't been done yet. So we will have to see. Spot the ball. How will this work out for the Jaguars? And reports coming out from this time, Jacksonville camp, I think it's pretty common sense that most defense, maybe on those early days of training camp, are going to get on top of the defense, have the advantage a little bit. I'm not saying what defense isn't doing is hard, but their schemes and coverages, et cetera, there doesn't require too much memorization in terms of learning a brand new playbook on the offensive side and having those new guys and figuring out and timing, et cetera. A lot of defense is brain smarts for sure, physicality, but instinct. And, I would be disappointed if we saw that the defense wasn't being very effective. But let me honor Terry here. I know this is something he would bring up. Released today, you see that Hines Allen as well as BTJ were listed in the 60s on the NFL's top 100 list. I do have a bit of in my opinion, I'm going to ask you this, Casey. The one receiver that's in front of, and let's base this off of 1 year, Casey, Malik Neighbors was voted, higher than BTJ, even though he did not have better numbers. I liken to think that it's probably because, and maybe it's fair, Malik Neighbors did have 4 different quarterbacks throughout the season. But do you see at this point in time Malik Neighbors being in front of BTJ?
I do not. I think it's certainly questionable. New York bias, probably. I get the quarterback thing, but Brian Thomas Jr. didn't have Trevor Lawrence his whole season as well. So I think you could make an argument there. But I think Brian Thomas Jr. is the more talented player. I think he can do more with his game. But, maybe the New York bias wins out a little bit this time around.
I think only 2 players, on that list. How should that make an NFL team think? Like is it more of you try to take this approach of our guys are going to prove you wrong, or because you don't want to be on the other side and look at yourself and say, oh man, we don't even have a chance this year. But in all honesty, how much have the Jaguars actually improved? They've changed quite a bit, but will we see improvement? What are your biggest things you want to see improve on the offense and then the defense next year?
I mean, they need to obviously run the football better. I think that's a big part of it. They couldn't do that last year. That goes back to their offensive line. Me and Austin were talking about this morning, but and he even asked Liam Cohen about it. The Bucs went from the worst run team in the sport to one of the best run teams in the sport when he's calling the plays. So I think you should expect that to be the case. And then on defense, there's no other way to put it. They were one of the worst in the sport on defense last year. If you're just marginally better, if you're half better than you were last year, you win more football games. So I think a lot of it's going to come down to coaching and scheme and buying into what these new guys are saying, and we'll see if it works out or not.
So you were out there at training camp earlier today?
No, I was just in the studio with Austin earlier.
What'd y'all cover?
Mostly goofiness, but there's not really much to cover at this point until Monday. Obviously, the pads are going on Monday. Right now, it's just how much do you love watching football players practice against air? Would be my thing there.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure back in the day, games in practice, there probably wasn't much of a line of the difference that they looked like. Just imagine. Those guys might have been tougher than the guys now because they were practicing in pads, I'm sure, full on every day. You look at the padding that even Steve Spurrier was playing in, and you think, goodness gracious, like that is what they qualified as safety, but there wasn't an understanding, obviously, of injuries, longevity, concussions, and whatnot. But it's so interesting. How much can you actually gauge from what you see in training camp? Joe Burrow, for example, I hope he does make it through this full training camp healthy, but he has never in his 4-year career, or 3, can't remember, he's never had a healthy training camp. So hopefully he can make his way through there. But shoot, you see, even after him not having a healthy training camp and getting those reps, they were 1 game away. Oh no, were they in the Super Bowl or 1 game away? I forgot.
A couple years ago, you're saying?
Yeah, a couple years ago.
They were in it. They lost to the Rams.
That's right. Oh yeah, oh man. I think about. I'm so glad you said that because I forgot about that game. The last time I thought about it was when I was at that training camp event at TPC Sawgrass, and somehow I just randomly I'm sitting behind Sean McVay, and on his book bag he's got like the faceplate of his ring stitched into his backpack, and I was like, oh yeah, they did win the Super Bowl a little bit ago. Dang, that was a good game. And I was like, oh yeah, didn't the big fella, Andrew Donald, didn't he get he got a huge sack. If he gets there half a second slower, Jalen Ramsey was absolutely beat on the right.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Absolutely beaten. That just goes to show in the game of football, it's about time, it's about inches. Like literally, it is not easy what we're asking for the Jaguars to do. But shoot, if you're in this business, I don't think the fans, us watching, are ever out of bounds in having expectations, especially if you're going to spend your money at these games. So I really hope that this regime can draft well. I mean, yes, you can look at the Travis Hunter a lot, and a lot of execs were not a fan of them making that move. But shoot, best case scenario, hear me out. Travis Hunter is elite on both sides. I mean, you literally got two players in one on both. So you got two draft picks in one. Obviously, I think his success is going to be predicated upon the strength of the offensive line. It always comes back to that. Always comes back to the offensive line. But switching topics here, that's as much Jaguars talk as I really want to get into today. I think one of the biggest stories leading in to today, because it had been speculated quite a bit. I'm not sure if you guys talked about it today, looked into it, but the executive order. President Trump, after working with many high-level coaches, including Nick Saban, I believe potentially the NCAA, an executive order has been put in. The key details. As we know, NIL has been insane. ADs, athletic directors, as well as presidents of universities, they are all aligned in employment not being an option. They do not want employees. That's a whole new world. And it's difficult because, they are going to be getting getting revenue sharing, but they're also not professional athletes. So this, in effect, tries this executive order. I'm not sure when it goes into date in terms of the effectiveness, or I don't know if it's instantaneous. It could be, because that's the president. Forgive me. But this is one thing that I'm very favorable of. It bans third-party pay-for-play payments while allowing endorsement deals at fair market value. This was probably one of the biggest headaches and grievances I heard from place to place, even working with the company Campus Legends. That was Tim Tebow's company, a for-profit company. So I was in the NIL space enough to see how this was not bribery, but it just didn't seem right. This collective is guaranteeing, they're not affiliated with the university. They're not hand in hand, but they are brokering deals on behalf of these athletes to come to the University of Florida, or, fill in the blank. Every school was doing the same thing and trying to figure out what was best. And it's just not fair. You look at Arkansas. They got Chip and Diana Gaines. They have Tyson Foods. You can go and you can name many of places around that have these boosters that obviously have disposable income. One day, Casey, you and I will know what that's like, my guy, to just drop, hey, you need $20 million for your basketball team? Here you go.
I hope you're right.
Right. Shoot, if I had $20 million worth of it, I don't know if I would invest my money in a sports team, a college one. Maybe I try to start and support one of these AAA or AA baseball teams or something like that, because it seems like it's so much fun being a part of a college program invested that deeply. That seems like so much stress. That's just mine. But what did you foresee, or what were your major grievances you had with where things are in terms of since July 1st, before any of these new things have been implemented?
I mean, the whole thing was a bit goofy, obviously, right? I agree with college athletes should get paid to play in some capacity, right? But you had to figure that out and kind of set some rules, which is how it got goofy this way in the first place for the last whatever we've been in, like a year or so. Hopefully this will help. Looks like the universities, Florida put out a statement. Everybody's pretty much putting out a statement. Mostly, I don't know if excited is the right word, but I guess acknowledging what President Trump did, and I guess we'll see what comes of it.
Yeah, I really like this part that I'm looking here, because one thing is, this can't be the president's decision in terms of employees or not. So in this executive order, This decision is delegated to directs the Labor Department and NLRB to verify whether athletes are employees, aiming to preserve amateurism in women's and Olympic sports. And this is very interesting. I can't wait. I would love to hear your take on this. We're interested to hear Terry's take on this. It mandates scholarship and roster funding proportional to revenue. You hear me? Scholarship and roster funding proportional to revenue, especially protecting non-revenue sports. I don't know about you, but that doesn't make sense to me. Aren't those two things that don't align?
Yeah. Yes, I would agree with you. I also think that's interesting because one of the first things you learn in sports management in college classes is hardly any of college athletic sports make money. Like football makes money, basketball makes money, but there's not many others. So if you're going by revenue, I think that's fascinating.
No, right? How does that make sense? Because, like, yes, so I'm certain Florida baseball makes a revenue. So let's just say football, baseball, basketball.
Okay.
All of the rest of the sports are non-revenue generating. So I don't understand the wording here. Maybe there's more we need to look into, and I just don't grasp here in terms of making it proportional to revenue. Because if it's proportional to revenue, then all the revenue is going right back to football, basketball, and baseball. But that's only in terms of for baseball. Mostly only SEC schools. Not there's many schools that they just don't make a profit in that sport. But hopefully there's some change here. Trying to find some structure. I'm really interested to see what it's going to do to the recruiting dynamics. But that's not here nor there. I'm super excited for our guest that we're going to have on here later, Scott Hamilton, buddy of mine that I met during the SEC network. Going to have him on the show, get his opinions on a lot of these things. Been doing a lot of coverage for South Carolina throughout his career. Here we go. Sports columnist for Charleston, South Carolina's daily newspaper. He's seen a lot, and there's been so much coming into this season talking about South Carolina being a team that's been slept on. And hey, I got to tell you, I don't disagree. They got hosed against LSU. Really bad calls. I think that South Carolina team gets 10 wins last year. Are they a playoff team? It's hard to say because I'd prefer to go back and have them play that South Carolina, the LSU game, get that win. And now instead of us just assuming they're going to have the same record that they ended up having at the end, because look, it's a factor. How do teams handle success? People might think that sounds weird. It's like, yeah, you got to handle failure. We know that's going to happen. There's going to only be one winner in each competitive event. But how do you handle success? And I think Frank Beamer, he's done a great job up there in South Carolina. But really looking forward to hearing from our buddy there about what's going to be coming next. So anything else piquing your interest at the top of your head, Casey, that you want to bounce around? Anything silly, as you said earlier?
I mean, one thing we were talking about earlier, I don't know. Did you see the video of the Chuck E. Cheese guy getting arrested? Have you seen this?
No, I haven't.
All right. In Tallahassee, you're familiar with Chuck E. Cheese, obviously, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So there's a video going around the internet that I believe from yesterday evening. Police showed up to Chuck E. Cheese to, I guess, handle a suspect. And as it turns out, our guy was in the Chuck E. Cheese costume, was working as the mascot. And they dragged my man Chuck E. Cheese out of the place in cuffs and put him in the cop car in the full costume.
In the full costume? Like he didn't take his head off?
Once they got outside, they did remove the head. But, when they arrested him in front of all the kids, he was in full costume.
Oh, man, those poor kids.
That's what I'm saying. You got to take him out the back or something.
Chuck E. Cheese, I don't know if they could come back. I don't know if I could come back after getting traumatized like that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you're a kid in there, like, that's got to be the most traumatizing moment of childhood, is it not?
We literally joked yesterday about all good, yes, ma'am. We literally joked yesterday, I think, about after the Hulk Hogan passed away here recently, those listening. And I was telling Terry about my experience of growing up and watching, sparingly. I didn't get to watch a lot, but I do remember in elementary school, um, there was an unpopular gesture from kids that were really watching the WWF, I believe, at the time. And
Sure.
let's just say it was an X that goes lower, that goes for the lower half of your body.
Absolutely.
And I was, we were like, how traumatizing for those elementary school teachers.
It was probably a lot.
Yeah, you get the kids doing that, and they're like 6 or 7 years old. Oh my gosh.
But yeah, I mean, it was. I would imagine these kids are. I'm trying to get the picture up here for you in a second.
Traumatized.
Of them. Here we go. Look at that.
Oh man. Oh, look at
look
those
at the
girls.
kids in the kids in the background are like, "What are you doing to my man's?" And they're just taking him
Did,
away. Turns out,
did it say what he was charged for?
yeah, it turns out my guy was doing check fraud.
Oh yeah.
Which, like, don't get me wrong, a crime, right? I'm not arguing that. But
Is that a felony?
is that a serious enough crime to, like, bust into the Chuck E. Cheese and take the guy away, or can you just do this, like, out the back? Like, if he killed a man or something, yeah, for sure. But, like,
Oh yeah.
check fraud, is that really worth busting into the Chuck E. Cheese
Yeah,
and ruining the
right.
day?
Like you
I don't
really
know.
think my guy's going? I don't even know. Like maybe you could they could be sneaky and put one handcuff on one wrist and then another handcuff on the police officer's wrist. So in that way, maybe they can, they can hide that he's actually getting arrested because obviously, handcuffs behind the back, it's pretty obvious. I'm thinking,
Right.
I'm just trying because I'm trying to think like if they try to not handcuff him and guide him out, it's a chance he's going to try to run. You never know that. So
Sure.
uh, maybe it's just there's no chance to redeem that situation, and those kids just can't go back.
I know. But that'd be like going to Disney World and they take Mickey Mouse away in handcuffs. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not
Well,
right.
shoot, man, you're right. Like my niece, if she saw something like that happen, she's only 4. She would remember. Like
Yeah, for sure.
she absolutely will remember. She would say, "Uncle Pat, do you remember that time when they took Uncle Mickey away?" Or Mickey, I would say yes.
Exactly.
Why are you remembering that, baby girl? You don't need to.
And see, like, here's my thing. Those kids are going to go back to school here in a couple of weeks and be like, you're never going to believe what happened this summer. I watched the police take away Chuck E. Cheese. Like, that's a huge talking point in elementary school, I'd have to
Yes.
believe.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Oh shoot. Would they ever? No. I was thinking, did Chuck E. Cheese Jackson DeVille? Excuse me. He came to visit my elementary school quite a few times growing up. I was almost trying to remember if Chucky actually came to the school. No, but hey, that'd be even worse. But my sister
Exactly.
actually has a fear. My sister has a fear of mascots. It's an irrational fear, even though now she knows. Undoubtedly, she probably knew when she was young that it was just a person inside, but could not get over it.
Huh.
Could not get over it. I know, right? So I got some cool sports history today stories. Something that Terry loves to do. Got some baseball, boxing. Got this first one I want to start with. This was in 1990 on this day.
All right.
Roseanne Barr's notorious anthem. Singing the national anthem at a Padres game, she allegedly screeched off key, then grabbed her crotch and spit on the field, causing an uproar and one of the most bizarre anthem moments ever.
Huh. Well, that's not good.
What?
Memorable. I mean, similar to Chuck E. Cheese getting
Oh,
arrested, probably.
I mean, more right. But that guy, the Chuck E. Cheese, like, yeah, we're talking about it now, but like only people that care way too much about that would try to look up and see who he actually is. right?
For
I'm
sure,
not
for
going to
sure.
look up and see who he actually is. Like, but like Roseanne Barr, you are now known for that.
Definitely.
How do you explain it? I was trying to be like baseball. No,
Yeah, there's not a good
that was not
explainer for something like that.
no. She probably could have got away with the spit,
Sure.
maybe, but the crotch grab.
Not gonna end well for you.
Have you? You know, you and I are pretty much the same age, and I'm not sure if you watched any of those Michael Jackson VHS tapes or anything like that back when you were younger. You know, but you know, I do agree. The innocence of children uh, definitely still exists when you haven't been corrupted by the world. At the time, you know, I try to do the dances, and I would do all the crotch grabs, not thinking like that's inappropriate or weird. Just you know, I was emulating what he was doing, and then you know, you look back now and you watch, and you're like, oh my gosh, that is so why.
Yeah,
Why is that necessary? And especially Michael Jackson.
it's a good point.
Like,
Never really thought about it.
if it was Eminem or like, oh my gosh, the other day, there's a station on Sirius XM I love. It's called like Big Flex or something. And it was I think My Goodies with Sierra
Okay,
and
sure.
Petey Pablo or whatever, bro. The lyrics in that song they're unbelievable.
Yeah, I believe that.
It's unbelievable that that song was on the radio because I mean, I'm just so grateful that my parents had the wisdom to not let me listen to that stuff. Though that's why I kind of have a little bit of an older soul. So another one here. Roger Maris on this date in sports history went on a tear in 1961 during a doubleheader. Maris homered home runs number 37 through 40 off of 4 different White Sox pitcher. An odd home run marathon within a single day.
Damn,
That is
it's a
pretty
lot of home
interesting.
runs in
Yeah,
one day.
that's a lot of home runs in one day. And he got all 4 guys.
That's awesome.
Robert Clemente, this was also one of my favorite baseball players. Here was also, gosh, what's the guy's name? Ricky Hendricks? Not Henderson?
Ricky Henderson.
Yes,
Yep.
Ricky Henderson. His wild walk-off grand slam. Facing a 3-run deficit in the ninth, Clemente hit a ball that careened off the light tower cage at Forbes Field, circling the bases for the first post dead ball era walk-off inside the park grand slam.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, wow. So he hit it well. A light tower, you would think that'd be a home run.
You would. But maybe that's what Terry was talking about the other day. I don't know if you were on when this happened, but he was talking
I
about.
was when he said that. This could be it.
It could be it.
It bounced off the cage, and he was able, and you know, he was a fast guy.
Mhm.
So that probably was pretty easy. Here's an odd one. Cy Seymour, odd record in 1902. Seymour tallied 4 sacrifice flies in one game, an MLB record that has never been surpassed.
Huh.
Since 1902.
That makes sense, I guess. But 1902, that's, a long time ago.
You're not right. Like, I don't know. Situationally, as a baseball player, you know, part of you would still be like, okay, yeah, I hit the ball and got the run in, but I didn't get on base.
Right.
You know, which is the wrong mindset. Like, you got runs in, you got RBIs. Of course, it's not tallied towards on base percentage. But I would take RBIs over on base percentage any day.
100%.
If yeah, absolutely. You got to score some runs. Let's see. Anything else here interesting? Rugby. We're not talking about rugby. Good try, guys.
Good try.
Good try. Oh, here we go. Here's a good one. The only double triple steal day ever. I don't understand what that meant. So the Philadelphia A's stole bases not once but twice in the same game. 2 separate triple steals in absolute. Wait.
So they stole home, third, and second all at the same time.
Are you serious?
That's what that would be. I mean, I'm not sure how they did it, but that's pretty amazing.
You know, honestly, honestly, looking at, and having a baseball strategy, I think the percentage that coaches or managers would expect, and even players, for something to happen like that, because it's so much to risk. It's that could be an easy out at home, easy out at first, and then who knows if you could potentially, I think it's just so much of a risk to, at minimum, give up 2 outs almost guaranteed. But maybe it's a distraction of the guy on first and the guy on second as they're moving. What I noticed when I play a little bit of baseball back in the day, you got to visualize. You got to visualize and be thinking, all right, this is what I'm going to do when the ball comes. Like, this is having that awareness. This is what, I'd like to believe when we talked about it at the College World Series, when Arkansas was playing Tennessee and the amazing shortstop got a ball hit to him and decided to go to third. I just want to believe that he wasn't locked in. He decides to go to third instead of attempting the double play, which I think they could have won that game, but that's not here nor there. So that's enough of that. So hopefully on the other side here, we'll have a guest. Hopefully Scott will be able to join us. If not, we'll just find stuff to talk about until he does. But this is a Friday of the Young and Norvelle show here at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. I cannot wait to dive in on whatever he's got on the menu. The food's always good. Stay cool, everyone. It is so hot. We will see you back in a jiff.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Empower a future, inspire a dream. It's a bold but simple mission for the Jacksonville Police Athletic League known as Jax PAL. Help the next generation of kids in Jacksonville shape a brighter future. Their after-school programs, teenage leadership programs. There's community outreach.
It's been just an awesome opportunity to be out here with my colleagues and do something good for the community. It's really been an interesting opportunity to just see everybody work together in a way that we don't normally in the office.
And there's sports. There are also ways you can help the next generation with a donation of any kind. Just visit jaxpal.org to get more information. Empower a future, inspire a dream with Jax PAL.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
There's a saying in sports, you can't win them all, but you can win a lot with good folks on your team. Like that one painter, First Coast. It's tough to beat the sun in Florida, so your home fades. It's tough to beat that HOA when they come calling. Beat the sun, beat the HOA with that one painter, First Coast. And it's a good time to do it. Less rain to work around and painting in mild temperatures is perfect. After all, the paint bonds to the surface so much better. Give that one painter First Coast a call at 417-3557. Or look them up at first-coast.thatonepainter.com. Fast estimate, guidance on color and HOA requirements, and the highest quality job you'll find anywhere. Be a big winner in your neighborhood with That One Painter First Coast on your team.
When you think sports, you think Action Sports Jacks, the official station of the Jaguars, on location for every game. But the most experienced team in town doesn't stop there. From high school football to the big events in the area, Action Sports Jacks is always on. Now, we take that to a new level. Action Sports Jacks 24/7 is around-the-clock coverage of the teams you love and the moments you can't miss. The best local sports in Jacksonville on Action Sports Jacks 24/7.
Here we are. It's well, I can't tell how it is in Jacksonville, but if it's anything like it is in Gainesville today, not overcast. You get some heat. It's the humidity that we all love down here. Casey, I got to tell you, some days, and I love being down here. I love Jacksonville. I'm just like, why? Why is it that we can barely be outside for 10 minutes in the summer without like sweating our behinds off? I don't get it.
It's too much. It's way too much.
Yeah, like I want to enjoy it. I want to be able to enjoy the outdoors, but we're so far away right now from it cooling down. Right. I think the fall and the spring, they're some of the best times to be down here. But I had an idea, because this is something I talked about and wondered and had curiosity for a long time. Our buddy ChatGPT, which I call my ChatGPT sidekick, Kaia, K-A-I-A.
Okay.
I said, give me a timeline of the history of football as the game and rules developed. So don't give me all one. Give me some of the most memorable changes, because I think sometimes we think the game is perfect the way it is. Or there's many of things that have had to be changed. Like, we didn't live back there, and some of these things may be very head scratching. Okay. So the first thing we got, here's a trivia question for you guys. Who played the very first college game? It was in 1869. Rutgers versus Princeton. They played with a soccer style ball. Teams could not carry the ball. No forward passing. Scoring was like rugby or soccer hybrid. I did not know that. And to think too, Rutgers and Princeton, if they're part of the beginning early on, why couldn't those schools become powerhouses or actually be really recognized as football programs since they started so early?
You'd think.
You would think. This means a lot more goes into success than you think. In 1867, the birth of the standard rules. The Intercollegiate Football Association formed. Walter Camp, the father of American football, gets involved, marked the shift from rugby to a unique American game. So very interesting. Did you know that it was kind of based off of rugby?
I did not, but it makes sense looking at it.
I'm assuming probably rugby. Let's see. When do you know off the top of your head when the rugby started?
I can find out.
That's probably why rugby has, and we may have thought, I thought that rugby emulated the NFL, but it seemed as though things are
1823.
1823, well before. Wow. The line of scrimmage in 1880 is born. Walter Camp again. Line of scrimmage, snap from the center to the quarterback. It changed the chaos of rugby style. So this call is so important because it changed rugby style. No more of those rugby style scrums into organized downs. 2 years later, 1882, the concept of downs. That makes me curious. What were they doing in 1880 up until that point? Was it you just kept
running around in circles?
You probably kept the ball until the other team just took it or you scored.
Could have been make it take it. You never know.
Yeah, make it take it, and probably I guess they do. You tackle, you go down in rugby, but it's still kind of continuous at the same time. But That was a distinguishing rule right now. Oh, wow. Look at this. Wow, wow, wow. In 1905, the game of football almost gets banned. 18 players died playing football in that year. Teddy Roosevelt good old Teddy, a reform. The NCAA is formed, initially called the IAA-US. Hey, if you're trying to win some trivia, I'm your man right now. Look at this. Mass formations banded some things like this, like the mass formations banded. Like recently, we know banned was on kickoffs. Players could not interlock. That's something that's been changed.
Right.
There was something along those same kind of lines here in 1905, where obviously the injuries were very high. Here's a great one here for you here, Casey. In 1906, the forward pass is legalized, but it was rarely used at first, seen as gimmicky. How about that?
That's amazing.
How about that? What would they think of the game that we have now?
They wouldn't be thrilled.
It's all about having a quarterback and throwing and that West Coast and getting it going.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that would not have worked back then.
So it was the field was also widened and incompletions were penalized. So that's why, okay, that's an interesting, an incomplete pass was penalized, but maybe, yeah, I'm still curious there with these incompletions, and they still kind of having some rugby type rules. Was the ball still live technically, or, was it that you actually would get the ball back to continue downs? I like to believe it's on the side they did. 1912 touchdowns became 6 points, originally worth 5. The end zone is added. Previously, you only had to cross the goal line, and the field was reduced from 110 to 100 yards. In 1993, the NFL modernizes. Ball moved to the hash marks for better alignment. Forward pass rules were loosened. You could throw from anywhere behind the line. Those rules right there separated the NFL from college. And how about this one? In 1943, after all of that, Teddy Roosevelt demanding reform. You would think, okay, were these guys wearing helmets? No. Only if they chose to. Helmets became mandatory.
How about that?
After a decade of leather caps and exposed heads, safety took a step forward.
That's amazing.
That's amazing, because I'm curious of those 18 injury deaths.
Oh, definitely.
It's hard for me to believe that a lot of them weren't probably neck injuries, head and neck injuries.
Yes, you would have to think so. Absolutely. I forgot about the helmet thing.
Right, in the world.
Same thing with like hockey, though. Like they didn't wear helmets in hockey either.
Yeah.
They were just out there skating around trying to score.
They don't knock their teeth out as much as they used to, but it still happens.
Oh, it still happens, yeah. Because you have to wear the visor, but it doesn't go all the way down to like your mouth. Amazing.
Can you choose to have one that covers your mouth better?
You can, yes, but it's not the only thing that you have to, because you didn't have to up till recently. You didn't have to, and now you have to wear like the little one that covers your eyes. But like, there's a full cage you could wear if you wanted to, but not many guys do.
Look, those guys are as tough as can be, right? I don't, in no part of me questions their toughness.
Sure,
but like, no one can out tough a 50 mile per hour hockey puck directly to their face.
Oh yeah, it happens, man. It happens.
Oh man, we recently actually sad story. Recently at our buddy Andy Kaufman over at the Iceman, owner of the Iceman at the Igloo. I think they have some recreational soccer or some recreational hockey played. And someone was hit in the chest. I can't remember if that person died or if that person just had to be rushed to the hospital. But either way, it just goes to show you how dangerous yet amazing this game is and what it can do to the human body. But next one we have here, 1974, big kickoff changes. The goalposts used to be on the goal line. We talked about that. This has been a rule that Terry brought up at one point. And it introduced, there was not overtime up until this date in 1974. It is introduced into the regular season. Man, what do we do? So the goalpost, we're right there all that time.
Yeah, they still do that in like the Canadian Football League. It's
Were
goofy.
any of those, and I'm asking these because I don't know how hard it will be to find the information, but were any of those deaths or major injuries due to someone running into the goalpost?
You'd have to think. You'd have to think because, like, I mean, maybe they were thinking about it a little bit more then, but like, you see it still in like Canadian Football League, man. People just run into the thing, and it's like, what are we doing here?
Man, what a way to get injured.
I'm saying,
like that always scared me, and you shouldn't have the fear, but when a base runner running to first base, I do remember Bryce Harper hyperextending his knee on that. That's something that always kind of makes me cringe. But shoot, that's the cost of playing the sport the way that it is.
Absolutely.
You just hate that those guys that these guys that were playing in this time, as they're developing the game that we have to this day, they didn't get compensated as well as they I can't say could have, because TV is what really changed everything. Which is actually our next one. TV changes everything in 1950s. Instant replay is invented. Officials' uniforms are made more distinct. That's when the zebras were born. And then there is the television money beginning to influence what we have today. I, again, wonder if they saw how much money CBS just paid to get the SEC. I mean, goodness gracious, it's unbelievable.
I mean, it goes to like ESPN about to pay $2 billion for NFL Network in the red zone. So I mean,
right,
crazy world we're living in.
Right. Let me see if there's anyone major here. The concussion era that began in 2011. Kickoffs were moved back to hopefully, were moved up from the 30 to the 35 to try to, helmet-to-helmet hits are penalized. Introduction of spotters and medical timeouts. This rule that every single person hated so much. In 2018, roughing the passer rule was expanded to body weight rule. Can't land with full body weight on quarterback. Criticized for softness. I don't even know what to say there. And then I wanted to ask, are there any? Let me ask you first before reading these off. Are there any future changes you see happening to the game? Things that who knows how far we could be from where this game is 50 years from now.
Yeah, I mean, I think the go-to guess here would be something to do with robot refs, right? And getting it right. Microchip in the football, something like that. I think that would make a lot of sense. We'll obviously see, but it feels like everything's kind of going in that direction, every sport, and they're officiating. So that would be my next guess on big, major things that will change in the sport.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. And I love what you said here. AI-powered instant replay. The officiating, that's the one where I'm going to be a little hesitant on with AI for them to want to implement that. But without a doubt, you got to make sure that AI understands what a catch is.
That's a good point. But if the humans don't know, how's AI going to know?
Right? How can we give it the standard of what it's supposed to do and follow? But yeah, spotting the ball in and out of bounds, false starts and offsides, maybe I can see there. Laser first down markers. Oh yeah, I can't wait for that one. Human refs missed calls. I do just love this idea, and I can't wait for it to happen in the NBA because NBA players argue calls so much. You're not going to argue after you made a challenge and the system says this or that. You're not going to argue because there's no one physically that you can argue with. You just have to move on. But I do like the idea here. We have this rule changes to speed up the game because goodness, what's that? We got Scott on. Let's go into break here, and we're gonna have Scott Hamilton on as we will run into the 5 o'clock hour here in a little bit.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dynamic Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Most of us know how to throw. But you need to know what to throw. I'm not talking about footballs, baseballs, softballs. We're talking about those items you need to recycle. Republic Services explains it easy. Recycling simplified. 1. Know what to throw. When in doubt, throw it out. 2. Empty, clean, and dry those materials. It takes an extra minute, but it makes a big difference. And 3. Don't bag it. This makes the recycling process faster and more efficient. This is a look at the Republic Services North Florida Recycling Center. You can make this process even more efficient. By utilizing those 3 steps, Republic Services can help you become a better recycler in your home. Learn more at recyclingsimplified.com.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Rick's Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Rick's Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
Baker's Sports. It's a hometown business filled with hometown people trying to make you feel right at home.
Chris Conley, Jacksonville University. Walker Wright, class of 2018, West Nassau High School. Michael Young, Fletcher High School.
Baker's Sports started in a grassroots way and now outfits much of the Southeast.
Will Olive, Mandarin High School. Go Stangs.
High school sports, travel sports, youth sports of all kinds. They are a one-stop shop carrying Nike, Adidas, Under Armour brands, and more.
Vincent Caldes, Oak Leaf High School. Tony Mazzio, Sandalwood High School, class of 2002. Samuel Coffrin, Paxton School for Advanced Studies.
Whether it's sports teams on the field or it's your team in the workplace, like our Action Sports Jacks team, and community events like the Dream 18 Golf Tournament, and many others.
Cole Tilley, Hilliard High School. Reagan Webb, Eagles View Academy.
Look good, feel good, play good with Baker Sports. Custom sports apparel since 1997. Shop with the hometown team at bakersport.com.
The rhythm of my heart is beating like a drum, with We Are Martyr rolling off our tongues. Never will we roam, for we know our place is down. Where the ocean meets the skies, we be sailing. Where the ocean meets the skies, we be sailing.
Oh, it's a muggy, hot-looking day here in Jacksonville. I think it is. Looks like it through our CBS 47, Fox 30 Sky Cam here, covering all types of things in Jacksonville. That's Action News Jacks. Great partnership with them and being the #1 coverers of all things Jacksonville, including college football. So we don't have them for long, but we have them for the time that we do have them. My buddy Scott Hamilton, sports columnist for the Post and Courier. We're actually you're headed to be on Paul Feinbaum here shortly.
Yeah, they sent up a flare for that yesterday, but normally I would be getting ready and trying to be all pretty. Then I hear from PY and I drop everything.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, it does help. Casey's helping me out too with doing the show because I just don't see how guys do a monologue for 3 hours straight or whatever. And what is your impression, like mindset? Because you know how the Paul Feinbaum audience is. Like, how does your mindset going into that on that platform, does it change at all?
Good question. That's a really good question. It's loose. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
The last time I was on like with a camera, because a lot of times it'd just be a call in. But last time I was like this, I was at a restaurant and I'm sitting upstairs. I had just opened and I just took my seat at the bar and I get a text, "Can you join us at 5:30?" I go, yeah, no problem. I'm out though. Is it cool? They go, "Oh, no, it's fine." So I went down on the marina and did the hit with a pink t-shirt. And I got people walking by me with drinks. And finally, I just started telling them, "Hey, y'all on Feinbaum show." Oh, it went next level. These people are coming up behind me and waving. And
oh my goodness.
Peter Burns was hosting.
That's a pretty good brag. That's a pretty cool brag right there. So what do you think you guys are going to talk on? I'm pretty sure it's got to be something to do with this executive order that was just signed by the president. I'm sure that's going to be something you might discuss here or there.
Actually, no. He lets the smart people handle that kind of stuff. I think he has Michael Casagrande on from down in Alabama. No, we're going to talk about ACC. Everything going on with that. Belichick, that was a circus, PY. Let me tell you. And you know Charlotte. Charlotte's a pretty cool city. It's chill, but it was different yesterday, man, with Belichick in town. I've never seen anything quite like it, and it was for nothing. It's just like what you're getting with Belichick. It's going to be boring. It's going to be dry.
I know, right? That's the thing. It's not like, look, have your opinion that you want to have about Hubert Davis there at North. Has personality and gives you great takes, and there's just it's not dry. It's not dry and still.
No, it's not. It's not on to Cincinnati, And now the saying is we're not going to talk about that. That being his relationship with his girlfriend. So nobody even brought it up yesterday. He was able to skate by. He did the bare minimum for media obligations. He didn't do Radio Row, PY. He didn't do Radio Row. Mike Krzyzewski did Radio Row. Dean Smith would do Radio Roy. Roy Williams, you name it. Bobby Bowden, you name it.
I just think,
college coach.
It's not his job to do it, but I mean, set an example for how to still lead in grace, as great as he is. Because, I just hate to see this be the pride come before the fall. I know Paul doesn't have very high expectations for North Carolina this year. And when you're losing, they're going to point to everything. Everything's wrong, So that I can highly see that being a thing. Oh, he's not really doesn't really do the booster things to help with the money, and it doesn't really go all on beyond and have a great relationship with this and that thing. And of course, you got to have boundaries as a coach. But college football, man, you got to get these kids and this fan base excited.
They are excited. They've sold out every home game already.
Wow.
They're all sold out. And the players, at least the ones that were in Charlotte, man, they're reacting to this dude. I mean, just the way they carry themselves, you can tell that he's brought that professional mindset, and he engages with them. I mean, you can see him talking and interacting with these kids during the pressers and giving each other fist bumps and stuff. I mean, I think it's a symbiotic relationship where he's helping them elevate their thinking on a professional level, and maybe they're helping bring him back down to a younger, maybe re-energizing him. I mean, the dude's 73. The dude's 73, man. And I know about the 24-year-old girlfriend and all that, but that don't really cut it, during working hours. So now he's getting energy from these guys.
Right. Yeah. No, I think you're absolutely right. Is it possible for Coach Belichick to have success? Without a doubt, especially with his pedigree that he has. And look, we're not in the locker room. That's what we have to. When I have a criticism or something about a coach or a program, I always say, hey, the greatest indicator of how this coach is doing is how the players are responding to him.
Yeah. And
I hope
you're
he's
an
doing
athlete, man. You know as well as I do, man. The locker room and I'm going to get off track a little bit, but this is something very important to me. I mean, there's no more sacred space in this world than the locker room.
Right.
There's no more. Everything happens in the locker room. Everything happens in the locker room. That's when you're coached up. That's when you get your game plan. It all happens in the locker room. That's when you look at your guy, and it doesn't matter how, it doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, what color you are, what your orientation. It does not matter in the locker room. It's the most inclusive place on the planet. And I'm getting the sense that he is owning that locker room, dude.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they're going to win 10 games. I mean, I don't see that happening. But they got an easy schedule. I just don't see it happening. But I think they'll compete. I could see a bowl game. I mean, it's the ACC, dude. It's not that hard. You know what I mean? And he knows football. The dude
Did
knows
you
football.
did you see Greg Sankey's? Man, he loves the troll, doesn't he? He
God
put
love
out
him.
there TOC, that other conference. How y'all doing?
I like it because he's
go
a
ahead.
killer, man. He's a killer, but he's still he's connected, man, to how society is. You know,
I
he
think
gets
so.
paid big bucks to defend the SEC, and it's what he's going to do. And look, he's done a hell of a job. I mean,
Right.
it's been the most perilous time in the history of college athletics, and Greg Sankey has made the conference bulletproof.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and I've had quite a few interaction with Greg Sankey, and obviously, knowing who he is and whatnot, I have this kind of like reverence for him when I'm not for 1 second when you're talking and you're present with him. Does he ever make you feel less than or anything like that? I mean, he's telling me books that he's reading. He's telling me all and I'm just like, man, look, I don't know what the perfect temperament is to be an athletic director or not athletic, the commissioner for, practically a president of a huge organization, practically. But
CEO.
my man's got it.
I spent some time with him in March. I did a one-on-one with him. He gave me a one-on-one in Greenville during the women's tournament, and it was leading up to the 10th anniversary of him being named commissioner. I could have sat there as long as I wanted with him.
I know.
I kept going. I know you're busy. We talked about baseball. He talked about this wedding he had to go to this summer. I mean, he was just like the most regular dude ever. But at the same time, he's self-aware.
Couldn't be more grateful for that. I'm always just so happy when someone can prove that you can be highly successful, a leadership and still be a very great people person, and just be a normal, like he doesn't have to put a mask on. Like my man is the same. He treats everybody the same and is as professional as can be. But, I'll let you go. Last question. Who are you more excited for here, South Carolina or Clemson coming into the season?
I'm going to hedge my bets here a little bit. I'm going to say Clemson early because they do have LSU that first game, and we're going to learn a lot.
Can't wait for that one.
Dude, that's going to be off the hook. I mean, seriously, you got two teams with college playoff national championship expectations. You got two great quarterbacks in Cade Klubnik and Garrett Nussmeier. That's going to be an unreal environment. Primetime game on ABC, I believe. I think it's on ABC.
Oh man!
But long term, I think the Gamecocks with Lenore Sellers and being able to watch him continue to develop. We might have two Heisman Trophy finalists in this state this year.
Yeah.
Think about that at quarterback, and maybe two teams that go to the
playoffs. You're
playoff.
absolutely right.
It's an exciting time.
You're absolutely right.
We're going to get you up here, baby. We'll do some fishing. We'll do some football. I got you, man.
Those are two things that are my favorite. Some of my favorite things to be doing in life is watching some football, being on a boat, catching fish. Doesn't even have to be a boat. Can be a pond.
I got it, baby.
As long as there's an adult beverage here or there and some shade, we're good.
I got you, man. Come on.
Well, Scott, thank you for your time, man. Can't wait to have you on. So hopefully we can grab you a little bit closer to as the season starts. It's the fun show. We love to talk all things sports, and really grateful for the connection with Christine Brennan. She has a fantastic book out on Caitlin Clark. Highly recommend the read of that. I'm more of an audiobook guy, so that's the direction I'm going to go. But yeah, thanks, buddy. Crushing on Paul Feinbaum, guys. You can find him on here in a second. Oh man, just do your best. It's Paul. He's the best.
I just let him drive, man. I just let him drive, brother.
That's awesome. Well, all right, Scott, let you go because I know you got bigger and better things to get on to. But I will catch you in a bit. Hit me up anytime, my friend.
You the man, PY. Great
Yes,
job,
sir.
buddy.
Take care.
Yeah.
On the other side here, quick break. Brent Beard is getting himself ready. He's going to join us here in a second here with some news and notes. I definitely want to dive in a little bit more on this executive order that we're seeing. And, Brent Beard's also has a friend of the show, always has great things to hop in on the show, and we can always talk about Terry Norvelle. But we'll see you guys on the other side in a few minutes with Brent Beard for some news and notes. Stay cool out there, everybody.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Most of us know how to throw. But you need to know what to throw. I'm not talking about footballs, baseballs, softballs. We're talking about those items you need to recycle. Republic Services explains it easy. Recycling simplified. 1. Know what to throw. When in doubt, throw it out. 2. Empty, clean, and dry those materials. It takes an extra minute, but it makes a big difference. And 3. Don't bag it. This makes the recycling process faster and more efficient. This is a look at the Republic Services North Florida Recycling Center. You can make this process even more efficient. By utilizing those 3 steps, Republic Services can help you become a better recycler in your home. Learn more at recyclingsimplified.com.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Rick's Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Rick's Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
Baker's Sports. It's a hometown business filled with hometown people trying to make you feel right at home.
Chris Conley, Jacksonville University. Walker Wright, class of 2018, West Nassau High School.
Michael Young, Fletcher High School.
Baker's Sports started in a grassroots way and now outfits much of the Southeast.
Will Olive, Mandarin High School. Go Stangs.
High school sports, travel sports, youth sports of all kinds. They are a one-stop shop carrying Nike, Adidas, Under Armour brands, and more.
Vincent Caldes, Oakleaf High School. Tony Mazzio, Sandalwood High School, class of 2002. Samuel Coffrin, Paxton School for Advanced Studies.
Whether it's sports teams on the field or it's your team in the workplace, like our Action Sports Jacks team, and community events like the Dream 18 Golf Tournament, and many others.
Cole Tilley, Hilliard High School. Reagan Webb, Eagles View Academy.
Look good, feel good, play good with Baker Sports. Custom sports apparel since 1997. Shop with the hometown team at bakersport.com.
The rhythm of my heart is beating like a drum, with We Are Martyr rolling off our tongues. Never will we roam, for we know our place is down. Where the ocean meets the skies, we be sailing. Where the ocean meets the skies, we be sailing.
People, my people, it is almost time for you to take your shoes off, maybe crack open the that zipper or the button of your pants, kick your feet up, because guess what? It's the weekend. I'm here at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill in Gainesville, Florida. This is the Young and Norvelle Show. Grateful for the opportunity to come and talk some sports. And for you that are here listening in, it is starting to get packed as you have the happy hourers. That's going to be me here quite soon, actually, enjoying their time. And I cannot wait to dive into the food, all types of great things here at Spurrier's. And actually, as we were waiting for Brent Beard to join us here shortly, 2 stories right now on ESPN that you may or may not be aware of. Both of them are not good things. One, not as bad. One could be absolutely damaging to the NFL Players Association. First one here, and almost you kind of know this was a no-no. For one reason, it being a no-no, for the Super Bowl, players that are playing in those games, they get an allotted number of tickets. One reason you probably in those areas are kind of the NFL tries to put families and friends of players in the same kind of places to try to keep that area to the best you can say, reduce the unknown, make it a little bit more predictable. You know, people get rowdy and you just hate for any type of interactions. But here, at least 100 players from roughly half of the NFL's 32 teams face fines and possible suspension for allegedly selling their allotted tickets to this year's Super Bowl game above face value in violation of the league's policies, multiple sources told ESPN. What was that, Casey?
I was just saying, yikes, not a good look.
Not a good look, man. And actually, and you see here, I was wrong as we welcome Brent Beard, my buddy that's just one of the best human beings that I've met in the last few years. How you doing, my friend?
Well, I'm doing well. Good to be on with you. Thank you for helping us while Terry is out for the day. But yeah, I join you with that information. That is that's not something NFL wants out when camps are just starting, right? Right.
And actually, well, this and the other thing, we'll get into that in a second, but I actually assumed wrong before reading this. Those players are allowed to sell their tickets, but they cannot sell them above face value. Under an agreement between the league and the NFL Players Association, players who violated this rule will be fined 1.5 times the face value and lose their allotted season tickets for the next 2 Super Bowls. But if they are playing in the Super Bowl, they will have a chance to purchase those seats. Those who decline the punishment could be suspended by Roger Goodell. Union sources with the direct knowledge of this situation said. I would like to think that these guys are just going to suck up the punishment and not get suspended because that's way more money.
Right.
Not these guys knew what they were doing was wrong.
Sure they did. Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's just something they've got to deal with that now instead of dragging that on into the season too. So that's going to be important. And I'm guessing that one goes away fairly quickly.
Yeah, I think that goes away fairly quickly. This one, on the other hand, does not. The feds are probing the NFLPA actions that may be criminal. I mean, how foreboding is that? A criminal investigation to the finances of the NFLPA includes potential misuse of funds and enrichment by union officials, according to a confidential document obtained by ESPN. The scope of the federal investigation was outlined in the memo titled Crisis Management. You're without a doubt, crisis management. This document confirmed by multiple sources who had seen it says that the union is now on notice of financial actions that may be criminal and that the union faces immediate threats requiring prompt actions. Ooh, what does that mean?
Well, that's we don't know, but whatever. That's
not going to be good.
No, by no stretch of imagination. That B makes A look on almost like a walk in the park, frankly.
Say that again. The tickets.
Yeah. The second one makes the first one look like a walk in the park. Unfortunately.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't understand. To my understanding of the guy that just resigned, they found some like expenses for a strip club and just things that you're like, for one, okay, I'm not going to tell the guy to not do what he wants, but you're really going to use the company card.
Yeah, right.
You're going to use the company card.
You can't. No way.
Like,
No,
look, yeah, he might have to face his wife to say, hey, what's this purchase or whatever. But at least maybe you can keep that in private.
Yeah.
You can't. This ain't. And I'm no way trying to tell you how. Listen, I'm no way telling you how to cheat or how to hide things. Don't. My number one thing would say, don't do it. It's not worth it.
Oh yeah. No.
It's quite short-sighted. It only takes one mistake to destroy. Look at Jenga. It takes one bad move for all that whole thing to fall down.
Yeah, I would agree. Look, you just can't take that risk. I mean, the security, Patrick. I mean, you're aware of this. The security in these professional leagues, I don't care who it is to put it mildly, you're under scrutiny all the time.
Right.
When they're looking for things like this, man, and you come up with something like this. I mean, what we're talking about, you may, for selling, for the ticket situation you were talking about,
right?
That may be what, a game or two, if it's even that,
right?
But for something like this, somebody's career could be on the line.
Someone's career, and yeah, I mean, it could be actual possible jail time. I don't think, I don't think a person that could be falling line of committing this crime should have to go to the same place as violent offenders. But I don't think we get to determine that. One thing, I'm a huge fan, as you are, of the Proverbs.
Yes.
In Scripture, and there's so much talk of foolishness and wisdom.
Yeah.
Whether you believe in God or not, like there's some great tips on wisdom. And what I've been sticking to, fools, what fools do, they try to separate actions from consequences.
Right.
If you're trying to, because it's oftentimes short-sighted. And look, we've all been there.
Sure.
I've made foolish decisions, without a doubt. But a fool is the one that keeps making them.
Yeah.
And keeps thinking that, so what, that happened, I got in trouble. They're not going to find out. Like, not the way.
No. Yeah, listen, they've got Pat. They probably got ways in the NFL and the NBA to track things like this, and we don't even know about.
Right.
Right. So I mean, listen, when you do this, you talk about. I mean, it's not only is it dangerous, but if you get caught with this, your career could very well be over.
Absolutely, without a doubt. Without a doubt. I want to get your opinions on here. I was going through some interesting sports changes over football since its induction. Were you aware that rugby was a predecessor for the NFL? That football was very similar to rugby for a while, up until 1880.
Wow.
Rugby was in 1823 or 1805. What changed it was the line of scrimmage came there, and now you started snapping the ball from the center to the quarterback.
Yeah. Wow. No, I wasn't. But look, I have a lot of respect for rugby players. I mean, they're tough guys, and how they stay healthy during the season is beyond me.
It's beyond me
because they probably don't.
It's constant.
Yes.
There's not really a lot of times where they stop. But this was something that I thought was quite interesting here. Brandon, 1905, the game of football nearly was banned.
Yeah.
18 players died.
Yeah.
Teddy Roosevelt demands reform. That's when the NCAA is formed and is officially formed. It was originally called the IAAUS. And look, I said that's 1905, and this reform was about health, right? Almost 40 years later, 1943, helmets become mandatory.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Really. Duh. but at the same time, they didn't realize it at that point. they
Well,
just
I was
thought.
saying with Casey, I'm like, a lot of those 18 injuries had to be head and neck.
Sure, they did.
They had to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man, live. Goodness gracious. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Another interesting one, more so recently here, and I think the NFL has done a better job after the initial pushback. 2018, the rougher the passing rule was expanded. Not being able to go full body weight. The amount of times they called it in 2018 was ruining the game, and I think the NFL has found a way to. Yes, I think as long as the NFL is a defensive end, safety, whomever, as long as they can somehow kind of show that they're attempting when they're bringing them down to not drop all their weight on them, I think you should give them the pass of that not being a penalty.
Yeah.
Understanding how difficult that even is when you're going full speed.
No doubt.
Right. So I wanted to ask you this: after going through some of the history, are there any future changes that you really would like to see, Brent, in the game of football, NFL and college?
Well, that's a great question, frankly. I mean, you're always looking for ways to get it safer because if it's safer, you want it keeps your players
make more money if it's safer.
Yeah, in the game, but at the same point, I mean, you also don't want two-hand tag either, right?
You don't want that either, no.
No, so yeah, that would be a lot more difficult. I tell you what, that's a fascinating question to bring up,
right?
And it's well worth some time. Listen, we've got a situation now in college football, I think, on both ends. I mean, how are you going to keep guys? One thing that college is doing that I think they're doing a better job of, they're keeping the defense from totally overwhelming the offense by being able to. Now, Ole Miss was charged with this a few times. Now, you got your offense that's playing well. They're just on a roll, and then you're doing something to fake an injury. Well, they've done some things to correct that this year, and that's going to be fascinating to see where that goes. So
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And honestly, knowing Lane Kiffin, I think he's going to force them to call that.
Yeah,
he's going to force them to make that call. And I would too.
Yeah.
Like I would try to make sure I fully knew how to proceed moving forward. And obviously, you might say it's a simple solution, but look, it's been part of football for a long time. Love it or hate it, it's an unwritten rule, an unwritten kind of thing that this is kind of part. And because soccer players dive so much.
Yeah.
Your heart is not to have empathy initially.
Yeah. Sure.
You're like, oh my gosh, like that hit knocked him down. He's doing all that screaming.
Yeah.
And then I convict, like, what if he actually is hurt?
Yeah, absolutely. Sure. Oh yeah. But that, I mean, that they struggle every year with what to do with some of these rules and where they need to go with them. And I understand that. I mean, we're a lot better off than we used to be. I'll say that.
Yes.
But at the same time, what they're trying to do, I think, is the real problem they've got right now is how do you keep the game going and not stop the game and have an extra 30 minutes of game time.
Right.
But at the same time, I mean, Pat, wouldn't you rather have that as far as
it takes away, in my opinion, and I think this should be the strongest point actually, now that I'm thinking about it. These teams are going out there to compete.
Yeah,
right. And we know the game goes in ebbs and flows. We know there's going to be a winner on one of the sides.
Yeah.
So you're trying to tell me I'm getting penalized because my offense is rolling on this drive?
Yeah, right.
Like we're really killing it. They can't stop us.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to keep trying to slam it down their throats.
Sure.
Like that is how the game should be. All right. Because a lot of times if a team's flowing, that's either your team's not good enough.
Yeah.
They just have a really good drive or system. You just can't stop.
Yeah.
But it's the only reasons really that you stop it is because the other team is killing you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Which is like that's what the gaming competition's about. That's right.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Look, but again, I mean, I know it's a tough call. And to particularly that it can mess up the momentum of the game, but you also don't want somebody. Yeah,
you have to lose timeouts. That's what has to come.
Yeah,
with it.
Yeah, and I think that's something that's pretty fair to do. That if you're going to fake an injury, you should lose a timeout for that. Yeah. Question's going to be, well, how do we know they're faking an injury? Well. That's a tough call. I get that, but
I think maybe you can make it a quantitative thing. Like if a player misses 10 or more snaps or something like that, I don't know what that specific number needs to be. Yeah. But if a head coach knows one of his best players or the guy that's the best in that position, you think they're willing? Okay, I know my guy's okay, but I got to hold him out another extra 10 plays.
Yeah.
We're gonna get fined. No, like. Yeah, if a guy's sitting out that long, if he's able to come back in, like he tries to come back in, and he comes back out because he realizes he can't play, like I don't think the team should be penalized for that. But yeah, if a guy can come back in within a certain number of plays, and I know that's hard to determine to do, but how else can we try to find a solution?
Well, do you limit the plays? I mean, do you go instead of 10? Do you go to 5?
5, yeah.
But at the same time, when you know you're going to be out, and you don't see a lot of this right now in the rules, you're probably not going to fake that injury.
No, you're not.
Because it's too risky.
Could you word it by possessions or maybe plays is the right way to go, but they've got to be. No, I mean I think you can go plays for the whole game. Maybe no, because you can hide. You can try to hide if you're counting plays where your team is on offense.
Right.
You have to sit out 5 defense before you can go back in.
Yeah. Well, it's a tough call. It really is. In trying to decide this, especially with the officials, but we also are getting to the point where, Pat, we've got to be able to do something to keep the rhythm of the game going too. That's important also. So
it's so important for fans, man.
It is.
It's so important, especially in a football stadium on commercial breaks.
Yeah.
Like one of the most hated non-football person on the field is the red hat guy, the timeout guy.
Sure he is. Yeah, that's right. I agree. So,
hey, Brent, can you hang around for another 20 or so minutes?
Yep, I can.
Awesome. Let's hop here in on a break, and we'll dive into some of the things that you have ready. I definitely want to chat about the executive order and what you think that could actually mean. What questions were answered that seemed to be, but I had an interesting one that I saw on there that I can't quite, it seemed like a statement that was contradicting itself.
Okay.
So we'll get to that on the other side here as we close up this Friday. Let's go. Ease your way into the weekend or just jump in head first. This is the Young and Norvelle Show. We'll see you on the other side.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Empower a future, inspire a dream. It's a bold but simple mission for the Jacksonville Police Athletic League known as Jax PAL. Help the next generation of kids in Jacksonville shape a brighter future. Their after-school programs, teenage leadership programs. There's community outreach.
It's been just an awesome opportunity to be out here with my colleagues and do something good for the community. It's really been an interesting opportunity to just see everybody work together in a way that we don't normally in the office.
And there's sports. There are also ways you can help the next generation with a donation of any kind. Just visit jaxpal.org to get more information. Empower a future, inspire a dream with Jax PAL.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Rick's Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Rick's Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Rick's Jack's Beach.
There's a saying in sports, you can't win them all, but you can win a lot with good folks on your team. Like that one painter, First Coast. It's tough to beat the sun in Florida, so your home fades. It's tough to beat that HOA when they come calling. Beat the sun, beat the HOA with that one painter, First Coast. And it's a good time to do it. Less rain to work around and painting in mild temperatures is perfect. After all, the paint bonds to the surface so much better. Give that one painter First Coast a call at 904-417-3557 or look them up at first-coast.thatonepainter.com. Fast estimate, guidance on color and HOA requirements, and the highest quality job you'll find anywhere. Be a big winner in your neighborhood with that one painter First Coast on your team.
When you think sports, you think Action Sports Jacks, the official station of the Jaguars, on location for every game. But the most experienced team in town doesn't stop there. From high school football to the big events in the area, Action Sports Jacks is always on. Now, we take that to a new level. Action Sports Jacks 24/7 is around-the-clock coverage of the teams you love and the moments you can't miss. The best local sports in Jacksonville on Action Sports Jacks 24/7.
Hey, what's happening, everyone? I know you are either in traffic or you've already gotten your feet kicked up. Hang with us for a little bit more, and you will be able to do that if you like. But for now, we got to finish up this show and talk some sports here with my buddy Brent Beard. So, Brent, I was teasing a little bit here on the executive order that President Trump has just signed. We have to understand that this is not something he just did on his own.
Yeah, right.
With
right.
a lot of counsel from a lot of
Yes.
big figures.
Mm-hmm.
There was one thing on there that really just didn't make too much sense to me. It acknowledges here that found it. Here it is. It mandates scholarship and roster funding proportional to revenue, especially protecting non-revenue sports. what do you mean, especially? Those two things don't make sense.
No.
There's only, if you're fortunate to have a big baseball program, you got 3 programs that are actually making revenue. So what do you make of that? Because the way that I read that out loud and looked at it, it obviously wasn't the full statement.
No, it wasn't. And I think that's something they're going to have to end up deciphering. I understand the need, and I think they've done a pretty good job of it. The thing they're trying to do is keep all these teams from being sued all the time. Let's just be honest with it. I mean, that's really the bottom line for this. So I get that, and if they can keep some of that from happening, I can see where that would be probably a pretty positive thing. But what Patrick's bringing up is one of the things, and there's just going to be some things about this that are going to be that have got to be hammered out, and some of this probably got to be changed. You don't need to throw out the everything, but some of this is going to be. Now I understand it's got to go through all the gyrations that it normally does to get into law. But I would think, wouldn't you, Pat, that would be one of the first things that they would deal with, because of that, they're going to have people who look at this and say, now look, this is either controversial or it doesn't make a lot of sense. We've got to change this.
Yeah, they've got it. But my heart for this, I understand, of trying to protect the non-revenue sports.
Yeah,
I do
exactly.
Schools take on universities, colleges. They understand, they don't operate in the same way as regular businesses do, because they're providing opportunities for these smaller sports, even though these are the best athletes, to have opportunities and play at these schools here and there. So I'm just how are we going to find that number that goes for, anyway, we'll see how that plays out. But is there anything else that you saw if you got a chance to look at it in the executive order of some questions you've had being answered?
Well, and I'll just cover several things real briefly, if I may.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, to go along with that, now there has been a lot of talk this week about realignment, that North Carolina is going to the SEC, and I think that's true.
Really?
Yeah. Now it's not going to happen overnight, but I think at the end of this 5 years, to where you're probably going to see that, and going with them could be Clemson. So the reality of it is,
wow, wouldn't that be something, man?
Yeah, it would be. Yes, but the reality of this is too, Pat, is who is the ACC going to get in the meantime to cover those 2 teams? Now they've got a while. This won't happen until probably 2030 or 2031, somewhere in there, because they're just you've got to let this thing work itself out. I mean, what we're trying to decide now is, do we come up with something that is going to implement to go from a 12-team to a 16-team playoff as soon as next year? Now, hopefully they can do that. Both the big guys in the SEC and the Big Ten,
they want it.
Like sometimes they seem to be on the same page. Other times they're not on the same page. Right. So that's something they've got to decide.
I got a question for you here. In this thing, it says it's trying to make the Department of Labor decide, are athletes going to be employees or not?
Yeah.
And I know that the schools, the athletic directors, the presidents, they do not want that, because it's just a whole world of different things. Is there any type of example we can look at that would make the most sense for how this will work? That they're getting paid, they're not professionals,
right?
But they're also not employees. How does that work out?
I think eventually what we're going to see is they're going to label them employees.
Yeah. Really.
And they're because at some point you've got to make that distinction. I understand they don't want to do that. I get that, but at the same time, I mean, you've got a lot of things that have got to be dealt with and still
Right.
got to be worked out.
Right.
But I do think eventually what we're going to have is an economic system to pay the players, Pat, but it's going to be a lot more equitable than it is now. In other words,
without a doubt, and I think what needs to be taken into the approach now that we have revenue sharing is like, school athletes, your performance also is directly correlated into the money that's made.
Yeah.
Right. You don't want to look at, the athletes saying, what's going on? Why aren't we getting this and that? And why is the money that we're making going down? And because look, it's the revenue that's made is going to be possibly, you will hope for it to grow every year, but it's going to be different. Yeah. What happens if you have a year where revenue goes down?
Yeah.
And the shared amount is so much, let's say, I don't know. It's that's that mandatory amount of 20 million and 500,000. But then, I mean, that puts the onus on the schools and the players. Like, for those other small sports, I guess there's a pride that you want to perform well, that, all those other small sports can still make, I don't know, man, it's just a mess.
Well, and the thing is, Pat, is are we going to be able to keep these other sports?
I want us to, but I get it.
I do too. I agree with that. Or are these other sports going to end up being not revenue? Some of them aren't revenue sports as they are, but are they just going to become more intramural almost? Now, here's the thing. Here's the other situation we've got. Look, not all these schools, and you know this very well, aren't football schools.
Right. That's the problem.
Some of these schools are a lot better in basketball.
Maryland.
Yeah. And always will be. A lot of these schools in the ACC, maybe not last year because the SEC did so well, but the reality is for the ACC particularly, I mean, you've got schools that are not ready to become football schools.
Right.
And so that's going to be fascinating to see.
That's why, that's so tough, for those schools, it's going to be adapt or die. It's potential. I don't know if has it happened that a conference has almost kind of shown a team the door out of the conference?
Well, no, not yet. But don't be surprised if somehow they do eventually, because I mean we're gonna still have. I mean, is the ACC and the Big 12, are they going to continue to be able to be separate, or do they need to, or for their sake?
Combine.
Yeah. Do they need to combine something at some point?
Well, back to your point. I mean, will that hurt those schools that are just primarily basketball schools?
Yeah.
I guess it will. But at least they get to be in the mix, and they get to make. Well, if you're in that conference and you make it, obviously you're going to be dealing with top recruits.
Yeah.
If that Super League happens, you're going to be. It's going to still be competitive to grab them, but. I hate to say it, but figure it out how you're going to get those guys there.
And one thing I want to get into, and you're the perfect person to do this with, is it looks like now the NCAA has talked about expanding the NCAA basketball tournament.
Yeah, I don't like it.
They're obviously not going to do it this year, but I mean, look, I'm kind of with you. I kind of leave it the way it is. I'm not sure that's going to happen though. But it was obvious that it wasn't going to happen this year. They had way too many people against doing something with it. So,
Right.
but Pat, and I know that's coming back up next year.
Yeah.
And how long can they delay expanding the tournament? And at some point,
hopefully longer.
What's the cutoff where it starts hurting the tournament?
I think the cutoff is now because
maybe.
Look, it's not proper for you or me to. No, I guess so. It's our opinion. It's our opinion that we can have for a team and how they're performing. But we're watching Oklahoma basketball this year.
Yeah.
And Dari Noka, Peter Burns, all the guys were just like, man, this team, Oklahoma, does not deserve to be in the tournament.
Yeah.
We literally are they're not good enough.
Yeah.
And but they got in.
Yeah.
I don't agree that they did, but then just think, I felt that strongly, and all of us did, about Oklahoma barely getting in.
Yeah.
How much more strongly will I feel about a team that's not in the SEC?
Sure.
And not at the top of their conference getting into the tournament. If we want to make it so these smaller conferences can get more opportunities with automatic bids, or maybe saying if you win your regular season, you also can get a bid.
Yeah.
I think winning the regular season, JU, UNF, those teams, they don't get the tournament even if they won the conference, because they didn't get hot enough in 3 or 4 days to win the whole championship.
Yeah, but what it would do for those teams to finally get in would be enormous.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
To say the least. So, but look, this is going to be a real issue. And you got to be careful with the golden goose here, because they get so much out of that tournament. They get so much money out of that tournament. I could, and I don't know what the number would be, frankly, Pat. They're so determined they want to do something with it, but it really, the basketball tournament's not broken. That's
the thing.
The basketball tournament is 3 weeks of beautiful, whatever adjective we want to use here, of as competitive a situation we've seen. People are on edge. My thing is, how much more do we need to deal with, and we need to tinker with the tournament before we actually start to hurt it?
I think they're not taking into consideration, and maybe they are, but we just think differently. The fact that guys can transfer and go to a bigger school, bigger opportunity, it's just so much harder for those smaller schools that don't have enough money to keep guys.
Right.
We didn't have a single Cinderella story.
Yeah, we didn't, did we? That's a good point.
We didn't. Arkansas? If Arkansas beats Texas Tech, they're going to be our Cinderella story? Absolutely not. The only one was McNeese, with Will Wade, and they just won 1 game.
Yeah, that's right.
Didn't make it out of the first weekend.
Yeah.
The Peacocks. It's not St. Francis. Who are the Peacocks? They beat Purdue. St. Peter's? Small team, the Peacocks that they made that great tournament run. They knocked out Zach Edey, and then you got the school that knocked out Purdue a few years ago as a 16 seed.
Yeah.
And it is also, look, I should have that memorized, but I don't think the fact that we're not and we don't have a great sample size yet, but I think the fact that we're not going to see a lot of Cinderella stories, I think as soon as this is going to expand, it might. But unless we make this expansion in the way that I was kind of alluding to, because those smaller schools like UNF, those conferences, if they can get an opportunity to be in, to be in the tournament and make that money, oh my gosh, it's going to mean so much for them. And that's something that they would have actually earned. It was not a handout.
Well, but okay. So this leads to your point, is the fact of would we allow teams like UNF let's say, to be in, or do they want 2 more SEC or Big Ten teams in?
Right.
That
Of
that
course, that
really
would be the
don't.
obvious answer.
Yeah,
And they're
yeah,
not.
and I think we know the
Yeah.
answer to that, but
Yeah.
and we think we probably know what they do too, correct?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I just kind of like this wholesome idea of, if the SEC is 18 teams, 14 got in, obviously, like, there's no way, I could be proud of the SEC if LSU was in.
Yeah.
I think, they didn't, the fact that they wouldn't have gotten in means they really didn't achieve anything or have some level of like, within the conference. So that's where I kind of just like the holistic approach that the NCAA has already kind of taken in including those automatic bids for smaller programs. But it just would be hard. Like we didn't want Oklahoma to make it. Didn't think that they had a chance. But South Carolina last year was awful.
Yeah,
couldn't imagine them being in the tournament.
Yeah, agreed. So, but I mean, it's worth looking at.
Yeah.
To see where it goes. I mean, listen, I'm a football guy, but right behind it for me is basketball.
Right. I love them both.
And frankly, to see what the SEC has done. Now, look, I think the ACC turns it around quicker than we probably expect. But this SEC, and I'm happy to see it, may be a behemoth for quite a while now.
Yeah, yeah. But, I think what's important for this season, I think an SEC team has to win a national championship.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, but it's, even if they don't, like, I mean, the dominating numbers of the number of teams that we just know are going to be in the playoffs. Yes, of course, we want to win. Someone wants to win every year. But like it's more so about consistency, precision. That you got teams that are going to have a chance every year.
Yeah,
like there's always only going to be one team, and for whatever reason, there's never going to be the perfect way to get. You can't guarantee success.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So what the SEC is the best one. They've lost the last 2 years.
Yeah.
National championships, but. Anything else as we're closing up here on Friday?
But let me ask you this real quick. What is the level of excitement at Florida right now in basketball?
It's pretty high. I actually was hoping to grab a buddy that's actually on the staff, Jordan Jacobson.
Yeah.
It's pretty high, and I'm here in Gainesville for the weekend, so I run into a lot of people so far that have asked me about basketball, and I'm honest. I said they're going to be really good again.
They are,
but they cannot look at last year and just automatically think it's going to happen just like that.
Right.
Like you got a blueprint of what the leadership and all that stuff look like. The guys that are here are the guys that are the most important. 3 minutes. Yeah, we're closing up here. So yeah, the excitement's at a high level. Here, I think people are more so kind of antsy. So Brent, I talked to this group last night, Touchdown Club. They met at the Fairfield on 34th, and I got to say that was a rowdy group, man.
I bet it was too.
I've never ever had an experience speaking engagement like that.
Yeah.
And what's so awesome, I love that group does a great job of privacy. They're very clear when we have a speaker, whatever is said in here stays in here. But the whole experience was interactive. I mean, they're talking, they're drinking. I'm like, this is gonna be so easy. I just got to tell them stories. And they're very excited. Looking at the schedule being tough. Obviously, I think the Gators are gonna beat Tennessee at home. But there were some road games, and surprisingly, from their group that I think consists of about 60 or so members, potentially more, only 4 were going to LSU.
Really?
Only 4.
Yeah. Well, look, what Florida started could be really fun. And I mean, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard because we both know Houston or someone like that is going to really be able to. I mean, Houston is what, a few seconds away from winning the thing themselves. So, but it'll be a fun season, and we've got football, then we've got basketball. So
I gotta ask.
It's gonna be a great few months.
I gotta know this. How many days until the first college football season? We got exactly August 23rd.
Yeah, that's right.
How many days?
Yeah.
Oh, it's 29. Dang, we're under 30.
That's right.
What?
Yeah. Oh yeah. With week 0, that's what you've got now.
Do we have a team playing in Ireland?
Yeah. Yeah, we do. Oh,
we
yeah.
got this year.
Yeah. Well, we got Kansas State is playing in Ireland. But I know we're almost out of time, but
Kansas State's not a school I ever really seen doing.
No.
We got about 15 seconds here. Anything left you want to throw to our week before going to the weekend?
Just to say to Terry Norvelle, we did it in spite, even though we couldn't be here. Enjoyed it, brother.
Can't wait to catch you. Everyone have a fantastic weekend. Everybody stay out of the hot sun. We'll see you next week.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dynamic Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Most of us know how to throw. But you need to know what to throw. I'm not talking about footballs, baseballs, softballs. We're talking about those items you need to recycle. Republic Services explains it easy. Recycling simplified. 1. Know what to throw. When in doubt, throw it out. 2. Empty, clean, and dry those materials. It takes an extra minute, but it makes a big difference. And 3. Don't bag it. This makes the recycling process faster and more efficient. This is a look at the Republic Services North Florida Recycling Center. You can make this process even more efficient. By utilizing those 3 steps, Republic Services can help you become a better recycler in your home. Learn more